I woke up to fluorescent lights and the taste of copper, clutching a vomit bag like a souvenir. There was a plastic bracelet on my wrist with my name misspelled, and 4 in my hand, and a nurse in purple scrubs saying my boyfriend had been in the waiting room for 2 hours. I tried to sit up and the room tipped. The nurse's palm pressed my shoulder back. "Slow," she said, like I'd just tried to stand on a moving train. "You're dehydrated and your levels were enthusiastic." My phone lit up on the tray with 17 messages from Leo, a few from my roommate, and 1 unknown number. "Had a good time, winky face." I didn't open that one. I stared at the clock on the wall until the numbers stopped meaning anything. Leo came in with that face he makes when he's holding a heavy box and doesn't want me to see him strain. His mouth tucked itself into a polite line. He stood at the foot of the bed, as if there were tripwires between us. "Hey," I said, aiming for casual and landing on croaky. "This looks dramatic, but I'm fine." A humorless laugh left him. "You texted me, please help, at 3:11 a.m. from a number I didn't recognize, then nothing for an hour. The ER nurse called me back because my number was listed as in case of emergency. So no, Maya, not fine." I sank lower. The name on my bracelet. Maya. Stared up like it didn't want to be me either. Last night staggered back in broken clips. Selena's promotion at work. Just one turning into a neon parade. A hotel bar because the club felt like a blender. A blonde guy whose name started with J. Then a second guy with a sleeve tattoo who ordered mezcal and told me I looked like trouble. I remembered laughing too loud. I remembered my dress strap cracking and not caring. I remembered a hotel hallway and my heel snapping. In one flash, a ceiling I didn't recognize. In another, a bathroom floor and the sour bite of bile and shame. "I got sick," I said, which was true the way calling a hurricane windy is true. Leo's eyes traveled from my face to the four-pole to the smudged mascara under my eyes. The same way he looks at a leaky pipe. Not disgusted, not dramatic, just calculating the damage and whether it's worth saving. "Do you need me to stay until they discharge you?" he asked. He was so calm it made me want to scream. The nurse ducked back in to check my fluids. "Your labs are improving," she said. "You were dehydrated and your blood alcohol was elevated. You were also given something at some point. Benzos maybe, we sent a panel. If you want to talk about a sexual assault kit, I can call the sane nurse. We have up to 72 hours if you're considering that." Her voice was neutral, trained. She wasn't accusing. She was offering a door. I stared at the seam of the blanket and shook my head. "No," I said too fast. I wasn't assaulted. The word felt big and wrong, like a coat that didn't belong to me. What I did last night had not been taken from me. I had thrown it at the dark and called it empowerment. I wanted my poor choices to count as accidents because accidents are easier to forgive. The nurse nodded, left a brochure anyway, and slipped out. Leo's face didn't move. "So you were with people," he said, the word landing like a thumbtack. "Look, I don't remember everything." I swallowed. "I met some guys. They helped me get to a room so I wouldn't be alone. Then I got sick. That's it." Even as the words came out, I heard how they sounded. Curated, passive, childish. I waited for him to ask the adult questions, the ones he was too decent to force out loud. He didn't. He pulled the blanket up over my legs where my club dress had bunched. I thought of the way he normally fusses over me. Moves a hair out of my lip gloss, tugs the back of my sweater down when it rides up. The small, private intimacy of being known. He was gentle now, but it wasn't tenderness, it was hospice. "They gave you fluids," he said, checking the drip like he belonged to the staff. "I'll sit until they finish. Then I'll get you home." "Leo," I said, reaching for his wrist. He didn't pull away, but he didn't lace his fingers through mine either. It wasn't like cheating. "What was it like?" he asked, and the softness in his voice was worse than anger. "Define it. Because I need a definition if I'm going to sign for the package you keep delivering to my door." I cobbled something insulting together. "It was a dumb night. A mistake. I got carried away. I didn't plan." He closed his eyes and nodded once like he'd expected this line. "Right," he said. "The hurricane was windy." He stayed until I could stand without seeing 3 nurses. He signed something, picked up the little bag with my discharge papers like it weighed more than my purse, and walked beside me so I could lean without making it look like leaning. In the car, he adjusted the air without asking me what temperature I wanted because he knows what my face does at each degree. He drove not to our apartment but to his place. When I realized, my stomach knocked. "Why here? Your roommate has her boyfriend over," he said. "She texted me from your phone. I figured you wouldn't want an audience." I stared out the window, at my reflection with the hospital band and split eyeliner. Leo had always been the person who thought ahead for me. The umbrella in my bag I didn't pack, the water bottle he pressed into my palm when I kept forgetting to drink, the lift he ordered when the bartender poured heavy. He had not signed up to be my handler. He put me on the couch with a blanket, set a glass of water in front of me, then one of Pedialyte because he swears by it like religion. He didn't sit. He leaned against the counter like a man waiting for a contractor who's already late. "Walk me through it," he said. "And skip the part where you're the main character in a PSA." I told a version that made it sound like bad luck. Selena S. Promotion. Shots. A club where I lost Tori in the bathroom line. A hotel bar where I tried to sober up with French fries. Two guys who were friendly. My heel. The elevator. The laughs. The bed. Maybe. My phone dying. The nurse call button because I had infinite courage for that, but none left for texts. The ER. Leo listened with his head tilted slightly, like a cop in a show deciding whether to let a teenager off with a warning. Then he slid his phone across the counter face up. "Ring camera," he said. 3:28 a.m. You getting out of a black SUV outside our building, and then getting back in a minute later. Then 4:13, you coming out again holding your shoes. Then 4:52, you coming back with your dress strap tied in a knot and a hoodie I've never seen. My lungs shrank. "Okay," I said. "That looks bad." "It is bad," he said matter-of-factly. "But even if it didn't look like anything, Maya, I'm not playing the game where it's only cheating if you caught a good angle." I tried to get angry so I could stop feeling small. "I didn't sleep with anyone," I said. It came out high and unconvincing. "I don't remember." He cut me off with a palm, "Not rude, just done. You texted me at midnight, just one drink, promise. At 1:17, LOL 2 maybe 3. At 2:03 nothing. At 2:40, we're at the Westfield. At 3:11, please help." Then a dead phone until the ER called. I am trying not to map the blanks, but you're making it hard by pretending blanks are innocence. The worst part was that he wasn't trying to humiliate me. He was laying out facts on a counter. "Do you want me to go get tested?" I blurted. "I'll do a full panel tomorrow. Emergency contraception. Whatever. I'll do anything." "Of course you should get tested," he said, voice flat. "Not for me. For you. Because biology doesn't care whether you think it counts." He looked exhausted in that bone-deep way that has nothing to do with sleep. And yes, PEP has a window and Plan B has one too. You should talk to a doctor about both. He wasn't talking to me like a girlfriend. He was talking to me like a triage nurse. I'll get tested too in the right windows. That's not forgiveness. That's hygiene. "Leo," I whispered, and the word broke open in the middle. "I love you." I was stupid. I was trying to feel alive. It was one night. He stared at the cabinet above my head, so he didn't have to watch me cry. "It wasn't one night," he said. "It was 100 small choices you've been charming out of accountability for months. The flirting you call harmless. The shots you call celebrating. The lies you call jokes. And then the one you called me from when it finally scared you." He breathed in. "I'm not your emergency contact anymore." He went into the bedroom and came out with a tote bag and a box. The tote was filled with the things I'd inadvertently colonized his place with. Hair ties, face wash, a hoodie I stole, socks. The box held the mug he bought me that says hot mess as a joke, the charger I always borrow, the toothbrush. He set them on the coffee table like a man returning library books. "I'm not doing a scene," he said. "I'm not calling your mom or our friends. I'm not posting anything. I'm not going to stand over you and list what you are. I'm stating what I'm not. I'm not a prop. I'm not a chaperone. I'm not a person you call only when you're scared. I felt something panicky and mean rise, and I tried to claw back the ground with semantics. It's not like I planned to. Maya, he said, and my name had never sounded so gently final. Stop calling it an accident because you tripped in the middle. You walked to the edge. He texted me 2 hours later the doctor's links, and then a list of clinics with walk-in testing. He put a reminder for me on my phone calendar because he knows I forget when I'm spinning. He is a good man like that, even at the end. He slept on the couch and drove me to my apartment in the morning. He carried the tote and the box up the stairs while I carried my shame like a purse I couldn't put down. We didn't fight, because you don't fight with a door as it closes. He hugged my roommate, who cried because she's sweet, and then he hugged me the way decent people hug strangers they were once in love with. I pressed my face into his shoulder and said I was sorry, not like a spell, but like a receipt. He nodded without saying it's okay because it wasn't. He placed his key on the entry table without looking at it like it might argue. He left. I went to the clinic. I took the pills within the window. I got the blood draws and accepted the ricecracker boredom of waiting rooms. I texted him that I'd done it, and he sent a thumbs up because he is not going to narrate my health to make me feel better. He booked his own appointments. He asked me not to contact him except with results that affected him. He blocked me everywhere else, so he wouldn't have to watch me apologize in loops until one of us drowned. I still want to call it bad luck, because bad luck is a rogue wave and you're a sailor doing your best. What happened to me was me putting a hole in the boat to see if it made the ride exciting. The boat sank predictably. The Coast Guard came with fluids and a bracelet, and a nurse who offered me dignity anyway. The man who loved me enough to be my emergency contact saved his dignity for himself. He wins because he didn't make my behavior his problem to manage. He wins because he set his boundary, did the boring health tasks like an adult, and left without turning my worst night into his brand. He wins because he trusted the obvious. I am not telling this to make you hate him less or pity me more. I'm telling it because I used to believe that if I didn't remember it clearly, it didn't count. It counts. Your body remembers windows and timelines even when your pride wants to misplace them. If you love somebody, don't invite them to sanitize whatever you did in the dark. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. She called it a dumb night, and tried to treat the blanks like innocents. He didn't explode, didn't smear her. He handled safety, testing Windows prevention, drew a hard boundary and left. Lesson: blackouts don't erase choices, and a partner isn't a cleanup crew. If you liked this video, please subscribe for more. Thanks and see y'all tomorrow.